It looked like it's happening. Angel Reese is asking out of Chicago already.
Angel Reese officially puts the Chicago Sky on notice. We're not doing the same thing this offseason that we did last offseason. Stop bringing me bums to play with.
Angel Reese just told the Chicago Tribune she's not settling for another season like this and demanded the Sky bring in top-tier talent around her. Bold words, right? But here's the catch. She's leading the league in turnovers despite missing weeks of action, struggles to finish basic layups, and just earned herself a suspension. Reese wants the roster rebuilt around her, but maybe it's Reese herself the Sky need to move on from. So, is Angel Reese the biggest letdown in WNBA history? One thing's for sure, she's no Caitlin Clark. Drop your take in the comments. Are you rolling with Clark, the baby goat, or Reese, the baby giraffe?
Stop bringing me these players. I want the best of the best. I want the upper echelon.
Angel Reese is fed up. She's tired of the losing. She's tired of being the gum on the bottom of the shoe of the league. She is fed up with the Chicago Sky, and it looks like Angel Reese wants out. It looks like she wants.
Imagine demanding your teammates be replaced, only to end up as the one your franchise might be ready to cut loose. That's exactly the corner Angel Reese backed herself into with her comments to the Chicago Tribune. And she didn't hold back. Reese flat out declared she wasn't settling for another season like this, insisting that adding good players and great players was non-negotiable for her future in Chicago. But that didn't sound like a franchise leader ready to build with her team. It sounded more like a diva taking shots at her own roster on the record.
Let's see what Angel Reese had to say. I'm not settling for the same shit we did this year. Oh boy. Reese told the Tribune, we have to get good players. We have to get great players. That's a non-negotiable for me. I'm willing and wanting to play with the best. And however I can help to get the best here, that's what I'm going to do this offseason. So it's going to be very, very important this offseason to make sure we attract the best of the best, because we can't settle for what we have this year. Overhaul this roster.
The problem is, that interview didn't just ruffle a few feathers. It reportedly infuriated her own teammates and even veterans around the league. Things got so tense that the Sky had to organize a full locker room sit-down just to deal with the fallout. That's not the sign of a healthy team. That's damage control. Think about it. When you haven't even proven yourself yet, and suddenly the whole squad needs a meeting just because of your mouth? That's not leadership. That's dysfunction.
It stated multiple lead sources told Front Office Sports that the entire team has seen Angel Reese comments that teammates are unhappy with the direct attacks. A team meeting is planned at which players are expected to address Reese directly.
Of all Reese's comments, the ugliest shot landed on Courtney Vandersloot. Despite being sidelined all season with an ACL injury, Reese dismissed her in cold terms, hinting she was too old to matter for the Sky's present or future. And that stung. Because Vandersloot isn't just another name on the roster. She's a championship point guard, a floor general, and one of the best court managers the league has ever seen. Tossing her aside so carelessly wasn't just a jab at Vandersloot. It was a slap in the face to veterans across the league who know she's earned every ounce of respect.
We can't rely on Courtney to come back at that age that she's at, Reese said. I know she'll be a great asset for us, but we can't rely on that. We need someone probably a little younger with some experience, somebody who's been playing the game and is willing to compete for a championship and has done it before. Courtney Vandersloot, by the way, two-time WNBA champion, five-time All-Star, two-time All-WNBA first team, left the New York Liberty, a championship caliber team, to come help out the Chicago. Oh, damn. Oh, damn. Oh, dang. Oh, dang. It's all right, Courtney. All right.
And here's where the irony hits. The Chicago front office had already bent over backwards to build around Reese. Remember, they gave up Sonia Citron, yes, the rookie in the thick of the Rookie of the Year race who's already an all-star, in order to land Ariel Atkins. That was supposed to be the move that gave Reese exactly what she wanted, proven talent to win right now. But instead of showing gratitude, Reese acted like the roster and staff were never good enough. You can't cry about the front office not trying when they literally sacrificed a potential franchise cornerstone just to cater to you.
It is looking spooky in Chicago. It stated Reese said she doesn't believe her teammates Rachel Berman or Haley Van Lith are capable of leading them to the leading the playoff team. Guard Ariel Atkins is another player on the Sky roster with WNBA championship experience. We are aware of it, Marsh stated. We are addressing.
It would have been bad enough if Reese had only taken shots at the veterans, but she didn't stop there. Even younger teammates like Haley Van Lith weren't spared. The message was clear. The team was either too old, too mid, or too soft. Suddenly, veterans felt insulted, younger players felt dismissed, and the locker room's common enemy wasn't an opponent, it was Reese herself. She claimed the Sky needed great players, even suggesting it might take a leap of faith for top free agents to join Chicago. Translation: she basically told the world that nobody in their right mind would want to play here. That's not leadership, that's sabotage. And when you look at her on-court impact, it's easy to see why this power play backfired. If you're going to put yourself above the roster, you'd better back it up with dominance. Instead, Reese became the one out of sync, the piece that didn't fit the system she wanted to reshape, and in the end, the ugly truth Chicago didn't want to admit is this: their biggest problem might not be the roster Reese criticized. It might be Angel Reese herself. Because while she demanded upgrades and great players, she couldn't even do one of the most basic things: take care of the basketball. So here's the question. What if the player calling for an overhaul is the very one dragging the team down? On paper, Angel Reese's stat line looks solid, around 15 points per game with double-digit rebounds. But dig deeper, and the cracks show. Despite missing weeks with injury, she still managed to lead the entire WNBA in turnovers. Think about that. Less playing time than most stars, yet more giveaways than anyone else. That's not dominance. That's reckless basketball. And the struggles didn't stop there. Inside 9 feet, Reese gets her shot blocked nearly 20% of the time. Add in her lack of composure, and the picture gets worse. Reese racked up technical fouls at a staggering pace, hitting the league's automatic suspension threshold after her 8th whistle. Her breaking point came before one of the most hyped matchups of the year, Chicago versus Indiana. Instead of suiting up for her team, Reese sidelined herself with a flagrant shot to Aaliyah Edwards' head. Whether intentional or not, the refs called it, and the league had no choice but to enforce the suspension. That's not just bad luck, that's self-sabotage. And here's the kicker: the Sky often looked sharper without her. The ball moved cleaner, the defense tightened, and sometimes they even stole wins when she wasn't on the floor. Usually, a franchise player raises the ceiling. In Reese's case, her absence raised it. So what good are 15 points and 12 boards if they're buried under sloppy turnovers, constant arguments with refs, and suspensions when your team needs you most? Reese wanted to be the centerpiece, but the reality painted a different picture. Not a cornerstone, but a liability. And here's the real problem. If you're a free agent, how much weight do you give to her criticisms of Courtney Vandersloot or her teammates? How many players are going to look at the dysfunction, the attitude, the baggage, and say, yeah, that's the situation I want to join? Who really wants to play alongside someone willing to throw her own teammates under the bus with just 3 games left in the season? Probably not many. And that instability highlights the real contrast. Because while Angel Reese was burning bridges and dragging her team down, another young star was showing exactly what leadership looks like. HertoCaitlinClark. Here's the difference. Reese spent her time tossing shade at her own roster. Clark did the opposite. From day one, she's been under the brightest spotlight in WNBA history. Every game dissected, every mistake magnified, every move turned into a headline. You'd expect that pressure to wear anyone down, but Clark handled it with patience and professionalism. Even when sidelined with injuries, Clark still traveled with a fever, cheering from the bench and keeping her presence felt. That's commitment. Reese, on the other hand, stayed away from the Sky when hurt, leaving teammates to carry on without her. Case in point, when Chicago faced Indiana in Indianapolis, Reese didn't even travel. The official excuse? She's focused on rehab day to day. Translation: she disappeared. Clark's professionalism goes even further. She's shown sportsmanship in ways you rarely see from young stars. One clear example: Clark publicly praised Reese's performance after a game, even though the media painted them as bitter rivals. Instead of fueling drama, Clark gave credit where it was due. That's the contrast. Reese uses interviews to criticize. Clark uses hers to build bridges, with teammates and even opponents. And you can see the difference on the court. When Clark is running the show, Aaliyah Boston looks freer, more confident, and the Fever as a whole play with a belief that Reese has yet to inspire in Chicago. When Clark is on the floor, everything changes. Aaliyah Boston looks more confident and dominant in the paint. Guards like Lexi Hull and Kelsey Mitchell get cleaner looks because Clark's vision pulls defenses out of position. Even Sophie Cunningham thrives in the spacing and energy Clark creates. And that's the difference. Clark doesn't just score, she makes the entire unit function. That's why she led the league in assists last year with over 9 per game, and even this season, despite missing time with injury, she's still averaging more than 8. Her impact goes beyond stats though. She's spoken about her team with nothing but pride, resilient, connected, unselfish, and willing to celebrate one another. That kind of culture alone is worth 10 to 12 points a night. And the media has noticed. Every article about Indiana highlights Clark as the model of professionalism, how she supports her teammates, sets an example, and elevates the locker room. Compare that to Reese, who had to publicly backtrack and apologize after ripping her own roster in that Tribune piece. The contrast couldn't be clearer. One star builds up her team. The other tears hers down. One sells hope and tickets months in advance. The other forces her franchise into locker room meetings just to clean up her mess. And now, questions swirl around Reese's mysterious back injury. For a third straight season, she stopped playing before the finish. Sometimes there's no clear explanation. Sometimes the injuries don't even seem visible. But the pattern is impossible to ignore. Picture this. Indiana has a leader who lifts everyone around her. Chicago has a franchise player whose choices keep dragging her team lower. That's not bad luck. That's the consequence of leadership, or the lack of it.